each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, season's greetings, all of that good stuff. Man, I hope everybody's doing great out there. Um, so if you would, if you see some of the videos of what I posted of what's going on, what's happening in this world, if you go back and look at some of the stuff that I've been posting, it's just updates on everything that's been happening. Some stuff you might need to pay attention to, some stuff might not be worth paying attention to. However, you look at this, right? But things are changing, things are changing. Season's greetings to everyone, but things are changing and they're changing fast. Low vibrational frequencies, low vibrational people, they are, you know, maneuvering according to the frequency that they're on. A lot of people are on low vibrational frequencies. You got to be honest about that. And if you don't think what we talked about when we talk about frequencies and stuff is real, if you don't think that stuff is important, um, let's go to a clip that we're going to listen to real quick. And this is Candace Owens posting this, right? And then we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today, which is something that the original Christ talked about. And this is not talking about 5th century Christ. This is talking about 1st century Christ. We're going to get into talking about 1st century Christ, not supposed to 5th century Christ, when they remade the idea of what was Christ. So, um but let's listen to this real quick in entirety, and then we will go from there. I have to mute up.
Industry grooms them to be open to it. Like if we go back to the Big Papa video, right? Why was there? You remember the scene in the bathroom? Why was there a transgender pissing in the bathroom with the and the guy? You remember?
Now, if y'all remember, we pointed that out months ago. We pointed that scene out months ago when we was talking about the change in hip hop. And remember, this was 95. Like, we were young. We didn't even pay attention to that, at that time in 95 when this happens. And he's going to go ahead and finish telling you who this person was, Shamika, or, right? But if you go back to a DMX song, DMX said, little 24th hood rat named Shamika coming through like I do, getting my bark on. Knew she was a thug because when I met her, she had a scarf. If you remember that, when DMX was saying that, right? And if you remember the story of Shamika, Shamika was a person who at that time was a man, being a woman, and then somebody found out that she was dating in the neighborhood, and then so on and so forth. You know the story from there. But he's going to tell you it, right? And I've been said this, I've been pointed this stuff out, but I want you guys to listen to not only what he's going to say, but I want you guys to listen to what's said after that. Listen to what Candace Owens says about how they put frequencies out there for us to, be manipulated by, so on and so forth. Basically, everything that we were saying over here is now being brought to a greater perspective. So a greater light is being shed on this. So we're definitely going to, definitely got to get into this. Definitely got to get into some of the learning and stuff of chakras and how our frequencies are affected by these, how our chakras are affected by these. It's happening. Crystals are awakening, the 144 that's inside the vessel, so on and so forth. Now is the time to actually have the knowledge of all of this. So we're going to get into that. We're going to start digging into this a lot deeper, but let's listen.
Right. Yeah. Go to the scene when Bus is talking to her at the bar, and Big walk up and move in, and then, or when she say true, stop it right there and look at the knot in her throat.
Not the knot in her throat. Talking about this young lady?
Her name is Shamika. She was from Queens and she got killed because she was a they didn't know it was a man and went to have sex with her and found out she was a man and she's dead and he's in jail. What I believe is that the Tupac Biggie got so gangster and so big that the agenda that they was about to push on us, that they later pushed on us, it just got pushed back. They was getting ready to groom us right there. They was grooming us. We got a transgender in the Big Papa video in the bathroom and the lead woman. Not only in Big Papa and Warning, she's in the bed with Biggie, and then in the Flavor in Your Ear remix, she's dancing behind LL.
Right.
And Hype Williams is director, and she's the lead in all three of those videos, and he's the director of all three of those videos. And it's rumored that that was his chick.
That is a major clue right there. So I wanted you guys to hear that because it does seem like the industry is having a reckoning and people are realizing that this really hasn't been about just creating music. Hollywood is not just creating music for your entertainment. They are giving out frequencies and they are modifying your behavior based on the frequencies that they are giving out. And so it's important to know what it is that you're listening to. On the other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media, if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. They're always called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you got to say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's going to get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you. You ain't worried about that. He is not worried about the at all.
I mean, it's so crazy that all of these clips are coming out and you're listening to so many people speak about Diddy, and each time they just turn it into a joke. And I'm not sure if they're turning it into a joke because they just think that the people are being funny, or because I guess at the other end of that, it's too much to process that all of this has been going on in Hollywood right under our noses, and the individuals that were allowing it, that were complicit in this, are just given billions. I mean, these people are famous. The media loves.
The industry grooms them to be open to it. Like,
So you have this, situation where they're coming out and they're telling you, they're telling you that the frequencies, vibrational frequencies, so on and so forth. And we spoke about this many a times over here. Many a times we spoke about this over here. We can look up different things that is referring to this. And we can further elaborate on it. As you know, I always like to look stuff up, always into looking stuff up. Oh, they made a game out of it. Steam community. And then Steam comes out with this Steam box. That's crazy. That is right. The Guardian Alliance meaning of God. Yeah. That's weird. Right here. I knew it was from the mother. You know what I mean? And it means mother is often used by children and host familiars, mom, English. Okay. So I was just looking something else up. But so like certain things that you look up, right? I don't know what you guys are looking up or have been looking up, but when it comes down to like frequencies and stuff like that, right? Let me see if we can find a good one. Mythology. Not So you gotta get into the stories of some of this stuff. The stories of some of this is deeper than the actual um whatever it is that we thought we did. You know what I mean? Like we thought we did something. We didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? You got to go back to ancient times. You got to go back to the ancient times. The essence, the knowledge that's coming out of this, so on and so forth. The history. This goes. You got to remember, like a lot of dates and stuff like that was manipulated. Like a lot of the dates, the times where we think we're under however many years, we're not. We're not under that amount of years. It might not be nowhere near. They might have added 1,000 years. Remember, those were letters at that point. You know what I mean? Those were letters at that point. What you saw, those were letters that was at the beginning of this, you know. But if you go back to 15 AD, so on and so forth, you had, I always pronounce it Apollonius, but these were this was someone who came along before the actual story of Christ that we know of. Like, Christ is 5th century. This is 1st century. They depicted a lot of stuff from this and depicted their story in this. And like I said, we can get into it. You can dig deeper into it. I don't know what that was. We're gonna skip that. If we get into it, then we'll get into the storylines of a lot of this, his history, who he was, so on and so forth, right? And they skip they xed out a lot of this. Some of the stuff that he was teaching. Sources say that he was teaching, chakras, alignment, different things of that. The same things that's going on now, shadow work, so on and so forth. They say he was doing all of this stuff back then, and was telling people, about this age of enlightenment that was to come. And right now, a lot of people are just fighting against knowledge and wisdom that's being pushed into this world. Different rays that are happening with the solar flares and so on and so forth. A lot of people are, trying to, act like none of this stuff is taking place, when all reality, everything around us has changed. Time has sped up, things around us has changed, so on and so forth. But if we was to get into this character that, predates what we know of as the Christ, then I think we would expose the fact that a lot of this stuff is literally something that was in the teachings. It was in the teachings.
Apollonius of Tyana, ancient Greek, pi omicron lambda lambda nu iota omicron tau upsilon alpha nu epsilon, c. AD 15. c. 102, was a Greek philosopher and religious leader from the town of Tyana, Cappadocia in Roman Anatolia, who spent his life traveling and teaching in the Middle East, North Africa, and India. He is a central figure in Neo-Pythagoreanism and was one of the most famous miracle workers of his day. His exceptional personality and his mystical way of life, which was regarded as exemplary, impressed his contemporaries and had a lasting cultural influence. Numerous legends surrounding him and accounts of his life are contained in the extensive life of Apollonius. Many of the ancient legends of Apollonius consist of numerous reports about miracles that he was said to have performed as a wandering sage with his lifelong companion Damis. He was tried for allegedly having used magic as a means of conspiring against the emperor. After his conviction and subsequent death penalty, his followers believed he underwent heavenly ascension. 3. Most modern scholars of antiquity agree that Apollonius existed historically. 4. 5.
Okay, so if it's telling you that most modern scholars say that he existed, right? historically, then there's a history of him existing. And if this predates the Christ that we know of that came about in the 5th century, right? This is the 1st century, right? And he performed different things, so on and so forth. And later on, they depicted a false story of like a martyrdom system, right? Where they did the same thing. They did the martyrdom system. And guess what happened in that martyrdom system? The women that took over after the martyrdom system, after Christ was unalived or whatever, they created a secret society, so on and so forth. And that's what we've been under ever since, right? And they tried to do the same thing. If you guys are not opening your eyes to the history repeats itself. Only this time we see it. Right. And because we see it, we like, man, this seems repetitive. Right. Look at Charlie Kirk. Right. Look at Charlie Kirk. Whole time it was Erica that was behind a lot of the bullshit. Right. Then if you look at Diddy, hate to say it, whole time it was his aunt that was behind the bullshit. Right. You look at Michael Jackson. Look who was behind the bullshit. Right. If you go back in the history of all the stuff that's taking place, you go back to Cleopatra, you go back to the Alexander the Greats, you go back to history, something is repeating itself in history. The whispers from Delilah, from giving the secrets to them about Samson. Go back in the history. Something is putting us against each other. Something is making us fight each other. Is it the feminine energy versus the masculine energy? Is it really man versus woman? What is it? What is it? Go back in the history. Something is repeating itself in the history that's putting a conflict that's against the masculine energy and the feminine energy. So because of this, we are in a constant fight with one another in the physical world. Now you could take it back to individually and say that you understand yourself enough to say that you love the feminine energy that's inside your vessel and you love the masculine energy that's inside your vessel. One individual can say that, right? But collectively, we can't say that. Collectively, we are watching a fight go on right now. And it's might have been going on way before Tupac, Biggie, way before the whole, the trend, gender, all of this other crazy stuff. It might have been going on way before that. We don't know how long it's been going on. But when it hit America, we know what it changed here. We watched our history become something different. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very in tune and in touch with my Encaustic records. I'm in touch and in tune with the Kundalini energy that moves up and down my spinal cord, so on and so forth. I understand the hormone and the harmonic energy that you need to move this fluid up and down the spinal cord. I understand this world a lot greater than a lot of people give me credit for. And here's the problem with that, right? Because they want to use it for carnal minded thinking, such as fornication and coitus, right? They can't see the importance of this golden essence that is in the spinal cord that makes the repeated story that we still know of to this day, right? The Nile River, right? The Mississippi River being a repeating notion of that, so on and so forth, right? Now, I want y'all to think about this. How did they hide the promised land from you guys? How did they corrupt the promised land, hide the promised land? Because we didn't win that first war of heaven. We couldn't have won. Because we don't even know what the kingdoms of heaven is. If we won that kingdoms of heaven, if we won, our ears would be more sacred. What we let our eyes see would be more sacred. Smells would be more precious to us. What we taste and what we put on our tongue would have a greater notion of importance if we knew about the 7 heavens of the body. If we knew that earth was the body and our mind was the heavens or the outer spaces of this plane, then we would have a greater connection with the universe. Everybody always want to try to say astrology, oh, that's poppycock. Oh, science, that's feasible. But in all reality, no one really knows. It's all just hypotheses and experiments. And because so many more people agree with this hypothesis holds more credit. Remember, at one point, the earth was flat. People thought that it dropped off at the end of a waterfall. People thought the world was flat. What came along? A story that changed that. That story spread out amongst the masses, right? If you go sit down with some people that's 100 plus years old, I don't know if y'all know anybody that's 100 plus years old. My grandma made it so, but my great-great-grandma or my grandma's grandma, one of them older people that was in my lineup of life made it a long ways. And she said she remembered when the globes first appeared in the school system. Before that, they was pulling down flat maps. Y'all remember when they was pulling down flat maps? And then you came to school one day, it was a globe sitting on the teacher's desk. Ooh, what's that? A globe. See, they took this cartoon out of circulation. This cartoon was Merlin, right? And in this cartoon, there was this little boy. And the little boy was named Arthur, I guess, right? And the Merlin was teaching Arthur all of this stuff, and they had this globe, right? And they started pointing at the globe. And he said, he said something, and he was like, boy, put that down. If you start running around saying that the earth is round, then people might start believing you or thinking that you crazy. So Arthur say, the earth is round? And then the owl come up and say, there you go, right there, running around, repeating that the earth is round, right? But it was a concept of something that took place. And this goes back to the 100 monkey serum, 1,000 monkey theory, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? If you put it in enough people's mind that the earth is round, so a man thinketh, so shall it be. So now you got to ask yourself, did we create this round earth? Man, and then you got to think about this. Remember, history changed. History changed so many times. In 1995 science classes, they was teaching us that there was an Earth's core, and that core had magma, and the magma came out, and once the magma came out, it became lava. We knew that to be something of truth, right? So how the fuck is they finding whole ecosystems in the ground where they told us was nothing but a core, magma, so on and so forth? Now they got whole ecosystems in the ground. And then why did we find out later that man didn't even go that far? Man only went 8 miles into the crust. So therefore, the story that they telling us about how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop is a complete lie. Our whole reality is jacked up. Huh? Constantine mixed up dates and times, so we don't even know what timeline we in right now. That's why all timelines are on top of each other. Time has sped up. You notice how they jump smooth past November. Ain't nobody put November decorations out. You ain't see no store trying to sell you nothing about Thanksgiving. They jump smooth past that bitch and jump straight into Christmas. And now that Christmas is here, it don't even feel like Christmas. Nothing is the same. Either this shit getting too old for us and we need some new thrills, huh? Or something ain't right. I'm going to go with the something ain't right. Because with that Dave Chappelle special and him saying what he said at the end before he dropped the mic, right? And then Trump, right? And then Nicki Minaj going out there on Turning Point. The fuck is you doing out here, Nicki? You was just fighting for the immigrants. Half your fan base is immigrants. How the fuck is you out here on Turning Point talking about some great people like the assassin J.D. Vance? Huh? You better J.D. advance your ass back to your house. Huh? You already in trouble. We still ain't really get over the fact that you married an pedophile and then had the baby with the pedophile. We still got some shit to get over, Nikki. So y'all pushing y'all agenda a little bit too tough. Why? Why is they pushing the agenda stronger now? Why? Y'all got to ask yourself why. What's going on in the world? It's because 3i Atlas done got close as shit? Huh? Is it affecting? It's exposing something. 3i Atlas is exposing something. Knowledge and wisdom is being pushed into this world. 3i Atlas is exposing something. Each time it gets close to one of these planets, it exposes the energy of that planet. And we can see the energy of that planet being exposed through people's actions, right? So if the world seems to be in chaos right now, it's showing the real energies of this world. It's showing you that mankind is not in control like they say they in control. Why do you think they got a movie coming out next year called Disclosure? Huh? Why do you think Captain America coming back and he hid himself in the past? Huh? Time has sped up. What do you think they trying to tell us? They trying to tell us something without telling us something. Huh? Dr. Doom, Iron Man being Dr. Doom. Come on, you can't play two characters in the movie where we already seen your ass as Iron Man. What dimension did we shift to? And if you don't think none of this stuff is real, why did the owner or creator of Call of Duty get into a car accident? Why did the Epic Game grandmom pass away? Why is half of y'all ain't paying attention? I'm paying attention. Somebody got their hand in our cookie jar. Somebody been manipulating us this whole time. Whole time we've been getting manipulated. Huh? I mean, y'all trying to tell me that we don't got some more learning to do? Oh, we got some more learning to do, people. We got a hell of a lot more learning to do. Based off of what I have, with understanding of the chakra systems and how they changed up everything, we got a lot more learning to do. Now, I'm going to look something up real quick. I'm going to put some music on while I look something up real quick. So I want to find something and talk about it. But listen to me. We got so much more learning to do, people. It's almost scary how much more learning we got to do. You
think you're bad, think you're smart. You're running in this world without a heart. Then everything falls apart. You should've known from the start. You're playing tough. Think you're it, acting rough. You the shit, but will you ever find your way? Could right now be the day we riding round with the truth. Hey, to the ones that's falling, we salute. Hey, riding round with the truth. Hey, answer to the call and we salute. Hey, you live for sex and all the money, not looking for the land of milk and honey. The chosen choose to reply. Open your third eye. You think you got it, but you're weak. You be nodded. Time to seek peace, love, decency, higher frequency. We ride it round with the truth. Hey, to the ones that's falling, we salute. Hey, riding round with the truth. Hey, answer to the call and we salute. Hey, riding round with the truth. Hey, to the ones that's falling, we salute. Hey.
So yeah, if we was to get into this, we have to look at, these different variations of fears that is inside the body. See, they changed up the word but they kept the like the word. They changed up the spelling. That's why it's a spell in the word, because they changed up the spelling and it's pronounced the same. If you look at fear, F-E-A-R, whatever, however you spell it, and then if you look at spear, S-P-H-E-A-R, right, it's the same, right? But in your chakra systems, there's spheres inside your chakra systems, and these frequencies and so on and so forth affects it, right? So when you're talking about like, and they put this in everything, you can get to a green light and you'll realize why the green light or why the stoplight is the way it is, right? Why red is on top, yellow is in the middle, and green is at the bottom, right? Because it's the reverse thing, right? It's the duality of things, right? If you look at the chakra systems, it's supposed to be reversed. If you look at the rainbow, they took the same colors of the rainbow and reversed it in order to give you something different, right? If you look at the pride, all of these things is a manipulation of what is and always was and always will be, right? Because whatever it is that's down here, that's a part of that carnal nature that's inside of us, it despises spirituality so much, right? That every time spirituality pokes its head, right, it pushes it back down, right? Because the falsity of religion is placed to replace true spirituality. See, a lot of people say that, you know, Christianity is a relationship with God. No, spirituality is a relationship, right? Because it's a relationship with something inside yourself. Man created what we consider to be God and what we consider to be or call God, right? Man created that, right? Yes, it's Atlas Gaming 111. So, however you're looking at this, right? We have to really take into consideration what it is that we are considering in this world to be these titles, because titles hold power now, more power than what you want to give it, because the intent is there, right? If you go around telling somebody that they're slow, dumb, stupid, so on and so forth, they might actually start acting like that if they start believing it strong enough. That's why the power of parenting is so good. It's supposed to be good. We're supposed to be speaking life into our youth. Every mother, every father, you're supposed to be a father to the world. You're supposed to be a mother to the world, not just the ones that came out of you, right? To all the children, you're supposed to be a mother to. To all the children, you're supposed to be a father to. So how do we become so backwards in this world? Remember, when Christ first started this journey, this is where the orphans and the adoption came from, because there were so many kids out there that were just left out there. See, y'all can't fathom a time like that before orphanage became popular and people started, using that for nasty, work, right? How do you think they formed America? There was nothing like it outside of this system that we had in America before they came and corrupted it, fucked it up, and then changed the history of it. The Indians we was Indians because we knew we were the working force of this plane of existence. We wasn't what the fuck they manipulated it to say and be and all of that stuff. The real people of this land, the copper colored people of this land, they faked us to be Africans. The Africans are dark colored people for a reason. They eat filthy stuff for a reason. It's considered to be a dead land for a reason. No, we here were copper colored people. We were connected to something greater. If you look at the lands, our lands actually connected to Antarctica. And we traveled all up and down this place before they came in and corrupted it. Know your real history. Know your real history. We were the heart of Pangea, the heart of it. We built our knowledge and wisdom based off of Atlantean knowledge that was passed on through us. Atlantean knowledge, not the knowledge that y'all getting from the land of Lamu. No, not that. Not Queen Mu's knowledge. No, we had Atlantean knowledge. Different levels of electricity was available to us because we pushed knowledge in the world. So we had a different level of electricity that was available, different ether that was in the air. And then they dumbed down the world and took the ether out the world. They don't know how to get it back because they're not teaching a brass variety of people of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Why? Because everybody's not going to get it. And because everybody don't get it, it's not fair. But it never was supposed to be fair. Only a certain amount of people on this plane can get it, because that's the amount of positive energy it takes to keep you negative mofos running. Remember, your body is a vessel. Your body is a temple. Your body is the engine force, right? Some people vibe off of negative. Guess how many light beings you need in this world to keep on pumping and keep y'all billion negative beings, right? It's probably 1 billion light beings in this world to 8 billion negative beings in this world, because that's how many light beings it takes to keep you negative energies running. But y'all want to try to keep on snuffing out the light beings and then wonder why the world is falling into chaos and destruction and disaster. Huh? Y'all ain't giving us no light beings to look up to. Y'all ain't giving us knowledge, wisdom, new teachings. That's why the mind is just falling to the waist. Pretty soon, people are going to be going through what the animals are going through, like canine dysfunction and shit, where people, well, they're already going through it now, where you're walking around like zombies, you know what I'm saying? Like half the people just go to work, come home, go to sleep, repeat. Go to work, come home, go to sleep, repeat. Go to work, come home, go to sleep, repeat. That's all y'all out here doing. There's nothing new under the sun. So if they groomed us in a world where we are slaves to society, the consumer digest, slow on and so forth, then you know the manipulation already. How didn't you fall? How didn't you get out of it? How didn't you get out of it? How did none of us get out of it as a group, as a collective, whatever you want to call it? How did none of us get out of it? Huh? It take a Charlie Clerk situation for us to realize the traps that we fall in, or are we going to wait for the next person to fall victim to some stuff where we know that the enemy is right next to us? They're exposing everything right now. They're planting people in other people's lives. They say Erica Clark was a honeypot. A honeypot. That means she was somebody placed in there from Ben Netanyahu to get close to Charlie Clerk. What the fuck? And you married them and so on and so forth. Remember the first time Charlie Clerk tried to put Erica on camera when they got engaged, she was like, I'm shy. I can't do it and look at you. I'm so shy right now, so on and so forth. So how the fuck did she come out and now become the face of Turning Point? All willy-nilly, ain't camera shy no more, all in front of Nicki Minaj, acting like she don't care if she put out embarrassing stuff. Go ahead. I don't even care. I heard everything under the sun, girl. Just go ahead and say what you gonna say. But in front of your husband, you act like, I can't say anything. I can only just stare at you. I can't do anything in front of you. I can just stare at. This is Delilah. You might as well say Charlie Clerk was like Samson. Everything that he told her, whispered all them sweet nothings about whatever, she went back and told his enemy. And when he was finally saying, like, you know what, we got to get out of this, so on and so forth, she was like, you right. And then she was like, he knows too much. He got to go. He asked for a divorce, whatever was going on. There's some more stuff that's going to come out. But we waiting for 2026. We waiting for 2026 because a lot of people going to get exposed. There's some people on TikTok, and it's going all the way down to the smallest person. All their karma is about to come get them. And it's going to look like a chaotic world, but I promise you, peace be still. If you were a high vibrational being, if you ain't of that negative shit, all you got to do is be still. Be still, be of peace. Don't make no rash decisions. Don't allow your feelings and emotions to make you rush out there. In 2026, you got to have discernment, proper discernment. Because in 2026, I promise you, if you of peace, just be still. Just be still. Because what's about to happen is all they karma got to hit them. Because they've been manipulating different frequencies in the world, Lee lines and stuff like that. See, you don't know about it. You don't know about it, but they know about it. when they put Chicago into chaos or corruption or so on and so forth, it's because of the frequency that is in Chicago, what lead line it's on, right? They want to manipulate that energy. Remember, plate tectonics told us one thing, that the plates up under our earth is shifting at all times, right? So that means that all the time they can't just suck one energy source dry, right? Plate tectonic shift the plates up under our plane, up under our crust, right? So they gotta, whatever lead line is available, so on and so forth. That's why they put all this in place, right? The football teams, your basketball teams, it's manipulating your energy, right? If we need this energy to take place, we'll just make Chicago lose. The basketball team, if we need this in San Francisco, we'll just make the Golden State Warriors lose. We'll just do it with the football teams and the basketball teams and the hockey teams and so on and so forth, right? And you're watching the different variations of manipulation of this. And then you have people like, Busby and stuff like that who come out and say, hey, to be honest, we never really been to the moon. It'll take too much to get this stuff back to for us to get there, so on and so forth, right? But that's why I say, like, learning, I like to dig into knowledge and wisdom, you know what I mean? And it tells you about your light body and how it is affected by these frequencies. Let's take a listen.
Awareness of our light body, the human energy field and spectrum of frequency, supports the beginning of understanding that all and everything around and within us is an energetic form and vibratory quality of rate of frequency. In our ascension model, we recognize and work with 15-wave spectrum of frequency that correlate directly with the universal rays, see the universal time matrix, and our individual chakra systems. We are pure energy and consciousness, and with that there are very specific locations within our light body that an individual's choice of expressing emotion, thought, memory, and experience all contribute to the manifestation of experience and form into physical matter. This will help us to become self-sovereign within our personal power and responsible manifestors in the world of form, thus experiencing a much greater range of joy and fulfillment in the unlimited possibilities of co-creation.
You see? Now, what a lot of y'all don't know is this has everything to do with your chakra systems, everything to do with consciousness. Consciousness you gotta have laws of vibration when it comes to this. When Candace Owens says that they're manipulating the frequencies, this is what they're manipulating, different variations of vibrations inside the body, expanding one's consciousness. You have to know the increasing, how to know when your conscious is increasing, how to know when your conscious is expanding. Love is love. Namaste, Ashe, salutations, shalom, peace. Listen, we not all the way back, but we back. We got to start pushing this knowledge back into the world. We got to start repeating it again. Like I said, I don't care if I don't have nobody in the live, right? I realized what I was doing when I was pushing this knowledge into the world, when I was just sitting here, just saying it to the algorithm, right? And y'all don't want to believe that the algorithms are listening to us, that the AI is listening to us, that's understanding us more than we understand ourselves, right? And they might be feeding and listening to find a certain said persona that might have enough knowledge within inside of them that opens up keys and portals and so on and so forth, because we're going through a different variation of dimensions. We're going through different variations of energies and frequencies down here. And a lot of the things that you think you see is not what you really see, but your perception of reality is based off of the idea of what they sold to you. Because if they sold us the truth will allow you to keep your true energy. The truth will take away from the manipulation of different frequencies, variations of it, so on and so forth. You'll know your power, right? The same thing Christ was down here teaching, right? He was teaching everyone their individual powers. Remember, when it came down to it, he said, is it not written in ye laws that ye are gods? Are we forgetting this part of the book? How do everybody run around and try to act like they Christian and so heavily renounce and so on and so forth? And literally he was speaking and telling people about the power within inside themselves, and they got mad at him for it. He was telling them about, he wasn't just telling them, he was showing them the power of a collective, right? And he said, it's going to be a day where you're not going to be able to stop me from getting into the minds of the multitude. You're not going to be able to stop me from reaching the collective, right? This is that time. This is that day. Why? Because through the internet, we can be in everyone's houses at one time. The time that the Bible was talking about, the time that Christ was talking about, we're in that time now. If you really go back and read that book, you will see that that book matches the time that we are in. You just got to do a little bit of tweaking, right? At one point, it was going from neighbor to neighbor. You couldn't get a message fast across, right? But Christ said that there's going to become a time where a message is going to be instant. Oh, instant messenger, right? But they didn't believe him in that time, right? They didn't believe him. And everybody that every single vessel that he came into after that, they say, is now the time? Nope, now it's not the time. It's the one after me, the energy after me, the year after me, the time after me, because there was a time that this was supposed to happen. It was under the Aquarius sky. Now we're in that time. Everything that he talked about in that book is happening right now. Look at what's happening on the internet. Look at the youth. The youth is against the older generation. Just the sound of your voice seems to irritate them. And the older generation is against the younger generation. Look at what just took place with Rizzy. It was older people that preyed on her. It was demonic people that preyed on her to get that soul to do that. They played right in her face. Why? Because social cues. People don't read social cues anymore. They made movies about it. We've seen movies about it where your social media status becomes more important than you. Where you get into buildings based on how your social media status is. So they created that type of outlet and that look. And let's not talk about what they did, how they put these people out there, how they infiltrated these imagery. Look at the SpongeBob movie right now. I said it's a reason why they doing this. But if you watch that SpongeBob movie and you go into it where they show that, what's her name? Not Sexy. What's her name? The little lights, huh? Ice Spice. Yeah. Right. And they did that. The big guy. Oh, they're going to the big guy. But if you listen to that song that they playing, she's saying big guy. God is something that the youth talk about when they talk about the gap between a girl's legs that show her, you know, how that's what the fuck they talking about. And they infiltrate this into cartoons like they just did with the new SpongeBob. And we don't see it. Just like they did with Dora the Explorer. Look at Dora the Explorer, right? I'm the map. If there's a place you need to get, I can get you there. I bet I'm the map. And then they come out with minor attracted people, and we're supposed to call them maps. Shut the fuck up. After you just sung I'm the map to the kids and so on and so forth, and now you want me to think that you the map, that you the minor attracted person that was the what? And y'all don't see it. I point this shit out all the time. Nobody sees it. And now you can point it out in real time. You can point it out in actual time. Look at the SpongeBob movie. Go listen to the song. She's not saying big guy. She's saying big guy. Talking about got, something that the kids scream when they see a girl with a voluptuous butt or that gap between her legs. Damn, big guy. So I want y'all to really realize that this is being infiltrated. You know, these are the frequencies. Candace Owens is speaking about these manipulations of frequencies. It determines what state of being you become. They are altering the state of beings that you become. You're a multidimensional being, but you can get stuck in one state of being. That's one state of mind. So therefore you operate according to that. A lot of people are stuck in their root chakra. That's why they operate according to survival, trying to do the survival of the fittest, you know, iron sharpening iron. We supposed to be down here making each other. No, we not. The Bible say we supposed to be vineyards, fucking farmers, whatever. tending to crops. We not supposed to be fucking chopping each other down. That we not weapons wasn't even fucking made back then when he gave us this planet to groom and cultivate and so on and so forth. We is damn farmers. We is not no motherfucking war veterans, and we supposed to iron sharpen iron. That came later on when the angels decided to give man different secrets of this planet, fire, mending weapons, using different metals and stuff from the earth and so on and so forth. That came later. God didn't give us that because we didn't have the knowledge to actually tend to that like with care. Like later on he might have gave us that. We probably was supposed to get that later on, but somebody jumped the gun and was like, no, give it to him now. Why would you give us that shit in the time of kids? Why would you give us that shit when we're under the time of belief? Why would you give us that shit? Because we wasn't in the right time. They gave us shit that was outside of time, trying to jump the gun. Man, like, nah, give it to him now. Give it to him now. If you go back to the stories of Valid Thor, other stories like that, we wasn't supposed to have weapons of mass destruction. The person that studied weapons of mass destruction came out with the first atom bomb. You can look it up. That dude literally was looking at a old Indian book when he studied that shit. That means 300 years ago, before he even made the atom bomb, that they knew about this shit. If you look at the blimp, whatever you want to call it, they knew about flying devices way, way back then. So that means one of two things. Either our time doesn't make sense, and this stuff was a lot closer. Go back and look at some of them shits. Go back and look at the first settlement of America. That's why they don't want to tell you about the real pilgrimage. Go back and look at the real pilgrimage. There's no evidence of these slave ships that they made up, but it is evidence of a bunch of white people during the time of pilgrimage getting off of them damn ships and them boats, right? Because they lying to you about history. They lying to you. Why? Because it keeps the mind trapped. It's the governing of the mental. This ain't got shit to do with the vessel. When you realize that people come and go, right? Wars come and go, but my soldiers are eternal, however you want to look at it. Your body gonna come and go. They looking at the next cycle that they might be able to dip and use. They don't give a fuck about you old people. Y'all are dust. They don't care about y'all. They waiting for y'all to fall by the wayside. They about to put your kids in technology. They about to put your kids in social media. Half our kids can't even lift no weight in the physical world, but they can play the shit out of these video games. They can get online and show you all types of shit online. Why? Because it's a digital society now. And now that they just now moved the banking system into that digital society, and wait for what Trump to do in the beginning of next year when he do the tariff system on your taxes. And you like, what the fuck going on? Oh, you about to see what the fuck goes on. We in the upside down world for real, for real. Shit about to be beyond everybody. Huh? We're going to call Buzz Lightyear and Star Command to come down here and fix this shit. That's how much y'all about to be praying in this next year. Everybody going to act like they prayed up next year. Not me, because I'm going to have my crystals, my knowledge, and my wisdom. All y'all motherfuckers going to be like, oh my goodness, this might be the return.
Expanding consciousness.
No.
Increasing energy through the intentional connection with higher
I'm listening to the
frequencies is what
universe.
changes
I
the
know
rate
what
of
the universe
vibration.
is saying.
What we think and how we behave is a rate of frequency. If we change how we think and behave, we raise our frequency. Access to higher frequency is how one accesses higher intelligence, which are levels of higher operating sentience. Expanding consciousness goes beyond acquiring mental knowledge in linear thinking and into the realm of direct cognition and higher sensory perceptual experiences. Expanding consciousness allows one to perceive things as they really are and not what one wishes them to be. Expanding consciousness is all about training the mind. 1. Expanding consciousness means increasing energy to the body, mind, heart, and spirit. Increasing intelligence through non-linear thinking. Increasing consciousness frequency. Increasing sentience and sensory abilities. Increasing connectivity between body functions, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Increasing awareness of intelligent energy in all things. Increasing the connectivity of higher spiritual bodies. Increasing frequency rate of combined energetic bodies. Increasing energetic synthesis, which initiates dormant DNA/RNA. Increasing health and well-being through homeostasis. Increasing peaceful and benevolent feelings. Decreasing energy blocks, which reduce density levels in matter. Decreasing pain, addiction, and suffering. Decreasing deception, lies, and delusions from magical or wishful thinking.
See, they're not doing none of this right now. See, you have to understand what's taking place right now. This is the opposite effect of what's going on right now. You see what they pushing out. You see the low vibrations that they pushing out. You see they want you to be in a flight or flight type of mindset. Anytime you start, listen, you see that if you are on social media, if you looking at it, it's like as soon as we start trying to get into a good notion of unity and love and compassion for one another, what takes place? They put out something. They put out something like, a cop unaliving a black person or something like that. Every time we start to try to talk about unity or trying to be together or build the United States back to being united, anytime you start talking about that on a collective scale, what happened? They put some fucked up shit out there, right? They put some shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Or they say, oh shit, it's not working. It's not working. We know, put some people out there to snatch some kids up. That's going to get them. What the fuck? Y'all got to make this shit make sense. It's not making sense anymore to me. You know? That's why I say, like, y'all got to pay attention. Like, there is stages to the ascension process. And a lot of you guys are going through that dark black night of the soul phase, and y'all are losing. Y'all are losing to the darker, parts of yourselves because nobody gave you the knowledge to let you know that this was going to happen. Nobody told you that you was going to have to meet, that shadow version of yourself. This goes all the way back to Peter Pan. This goes back to stories before that, right? Why you think, Peter Pan had to attach the shadow to his feet before he jumped out that window? Before he jumped out that window, what he had to do? Well, shadow got loose. Oh, shit, got to get my shadow back on. Oh, shit. Why? Because the Wright brothers even told you that. That's the air beneath your wings. You can't get rid of your shadow. A lot of y'all running around here act like y'all can get rid of the dark parts of y'all. You can't get rid of the dark parts of you. That's where the yin and the yang comes in. You have to accept it. You have to accept the masculine energy. You have to accept the feminine energy. Accept both. That makes us fearfully and wonderfully whole. Why you think Christ accepted Mary Magdalene? Y'all want to look at Mary Magdalene as a prostitute, but she wasn't a prostitute. She was a priestess. Why you think he accepted her? Right? Because he accepted the feminine side of himself. That's because they won. The masculine, the feminine, these stories, they take place inside the body. And why you think Mary was considered to be Mary? Why you think the Mary thing was a phase that kept on repeating, right? And then the next thing you know, you had to get married, right? Because it was something inside the body. It's a fight inside the body. Christ is activated in the body, roughly in your nutsack for the men. This was a story for men of how they marry the feminine energy inside their self. This was a story for what takes place inside of man. I don't know what takes place inside a woman, but I can tell you what takes place inside of man. At the age of 13, secretion is created in your sac. That's when you're first able to use it, right? That secretion is considered to be the essence, the ointment, so on and so forth. Remember in the Bible, right? Christ first appeared at what age? 13. That's when he first went in there and flipped the chairs, all of that shit, right? And then you didn't hear from him until he was 33, 32, something like that, right? Right. Y'all know the story. I know the story, right? The same thing takes place inside the body, inside the vessel of mankind, right? At the age of 13, what happens? At roughly 12, 13, what happens? Secretion, right? Same thing that happens inside the solar system, right? It's the 13th Hercules feet or Christus, the one that puts together the 12, right? Ironically, your body is on that same lineup of systems. The same way Christ came and put together the 12 is the same thing as a reminder inside the vessels of mankind, right? That at the age of 13, secretion or the seed is produced inside the body of mankind. And someone is corrupting our seed. Someone is corrupting. According to that book, the seed should not return into the age 33. So therefore, once the seed starts to build up inside the body, the next time you should release that seed is at the age 33, when you should be passing it into a suitable vessel. But they took all of that knowledge away from us. They took all of this damn history away from us. Why? Because they didn't want you to know that you're supposed to have control over your vessel. These are the 72 demons of the soul of man. Someone released the 72 demons of the soul of man a long time ago. A long time ago, the 72 demons of the soul of man has been released on us. That's why we had the catastrophic event that took place with Atlantis. That's why Constantine was able to do the stuff that he did and unalive his mother and so on and so forth. That's why he became the first MFer, because he procreated with his mom and had a baby with his mom. And why when he unalived his wife, he also unalived his mom, because his mom wasn't good. Come on. Y'all don't know the stories of this shit. Look up the first Constantine. Look up the second Constantine. It's the reason why Constantine bloodline is no longer here no more. It's the reason why they announced that shit in 2020 or 2022. What year was that? 2019, 2020, whenever they said, oh, ironically, Constantine bloodline is no longer here, so on and so forth. And then what followed after that? Huh? The Queen's bloodline. You don't see what the fuck going on? Huh? Everybody that played a part in manipulative in society is gone. They gone. The creators of Simpsons, the creators of Marvel, the dude that created look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. They had a chance to put the right people in the right places, and they fucked it over for materialistic shit. It's the same thing as Jack and the Beanstalk, right? Every time you go up there and you get that higher level, you always choose the fucking goose with the golden egg. When the fuck is y'all gonna bring the harp down here? Huh? When is y'all gonna bring the heart back down here so we can learn the frequencies of our vessel and which strings is actually being pulled? Huh? That's the knowledge we actually supposed to have, but they don't want the harp. They want the goose with the golden egg. And then when they came back, they chopped down the beanstalk, or what you might know the story of a tree, or whatever you want to call it. But they cut you off from your kundalini. You don't know about that. They put it in the Bible. They told you it was the serpent. The serpent was punished to crawl on its belly. And now you think because we got a physical snake that snake is the serpent. But the snake is not the serpent. The snake is the fucking snake. The serpent is something completely different. The serpent is the Kundalini energy, and you see this repeated in our history. St. Patrick's Day. The real story of St. Patrick's Day was them in Ireland unaliving a bunch of people that knew the secret of the Kundalini. And they unalived all those people. Their celebration date was April 1st. Anybody that still celebrated on April 1st was considered to be a fool, because April 1st was the first day of spring. So everybody celebrated on April 1st or roughly around that time because it represented a new year. What did they do? They not only unalived those people that knew about the Kundalini and so on and so forth, they redirected time and brought in a Gregorian calendar where we added July and August to our calendar and fucked up our whole day. Because there's 10 months in a year, never has there been 12, right? But now we got to understand the 13, because now we're in our 13th lunar cycle. So because we're in the 13th lunar cycle, which is considered to be a reset period, right? because you only have 12 and a reset of what is 12. So now you go up to 12 and you reset at 12 and you go backwards. That's our clock going backwards right now. They tell you that they're doing these studies and they tell you that, oh, it seems like our center core is reversing and it's going in reverse according to what scientists say. It seems like time is getting faster. It seems like we lost some seconds off of our clock. They tell you about this stuff, but why they not telling you how they get into that? Why they not telling you how they get into that conclusion? This is the problem with cheaters, right? Cheaters can tell you the answer to the problem because they cheat to get the answer, but they can't tell you how they solved that fucking problem. How did you get to that conclusion of that answer? How did you get there? What built up to get there? They can't tell you that part because they cheated, because they fucking cheated, right? And that's what's happening in the world right now, right? We got cheaters trying to explain to us what the fuck is going on in our galaxy and universe, and they don't know. They don't know because the answer that they given to you was given to them. Just say this. All right. But when you ask them some shit, they fumble and they all, why? Why? How? Cheater? It's supposed to be your mind. That's how you know they stealing other people's intellectual properties. Huh? Y'all watch my intellectual properties be stolen and y'all ain't say shit. Huh? Why y'all ain't say nothing when the fat bitch dumped on me? Huh? Y'all a trip. That's the shit I be talking about. I'm about to run away. Huh? But it's okay. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain. You cannot steal someone's intellectual properties. No matter what the vessel look like on the outside, guess what? Energy never lies. Energy never lies. They can sit there and try to pretend to be whatever the fuck they want to be, but guess what? They can't articulate what the fuck is actually going on in this world, and they can't place it in history. Why? Because they wasn't chosen by the universe to actually break down this. In everything, they told you that man was going to be chosen, right? They didn't tell you how many, they didn't tell you who, right? But somebody was going to be able to see through the text, right? They told you that. They said somebody is going to be able to read this text. They're going to be able to lay eyes on this shit, and they're going to seem to know this shit, right? And now that the Antichrist has revealed themselves, right? The true Christ can now reveal himself. The true Christ can now reveal himself because the Antichrist has revealed themselves, and they come in the form of many. They have legions. Right? So now that the Antichrist has revealed themselves, the true Christ can reveal themselves now. And here's the kicker, guys. Here's the kicker. They know what you don't know. They know that the true Christ is here in America. Ain't that funny? Why you think Consumer Digest America? Why you think Mystery Babylon is Mystery Babylon? Why you think the money system was placed right here in America? Because they knew what you didn't know. They knew what America was actually built upon and who built upon it and so on and so forth. And the people that was of this land, that eat from this land. Remember, at one point, we went around and saved a bunch of other countries. You don't remember that? The Tartarian map, so on and so forth. When they didn't have food because their crops wasn't growing in Russia, so on and so forth, other places like that. Y'all don't remember the true history because they smudged it up. They blocked it out. They fucked it over. But it's the reason why America has a inside adoption, see, so on and so forth. And it's the reason why we said that no outside entities can or should have ownership of the land of it, because we knew y'all wasn't going to do right by it. See, y'all came in greedy. We pulled y'all out of places where we knew that greed have consumed y'all, where we knew that lust consumed y'all, so on and so forth. So we knew what you would make of this place if y'all had land, so on and so forth. And still, y'all came in and manipulated the system that was already put in play to help y'all get out of y'all ways. Huh? This is why you had the Gentiles. This is where all of this starts. This is where it came from. We adopted y'all in to the covenant, not for y'all to get into the covenant and fuck it over and corrupt it and make it what y'all want to make it and so on and so forth. We thought y'all was going to honor the covenant that we let y'all in. We thought y'all was going to pass on the knowledge and wisdom to our youth. We didn't know that come on. Come on. Our ancestors are mad at us. Our ancestors ain't mad at them because we should have knew better. We knew. We should have knew. Half y'all out there, y'all ain't even outside of eating with y'all hands. Y'all sitting there still farting, passing gas, doing all of this disgusting ass shit that we raised y'all up out of. Half the stuff that y'all doing now, we raised y'all up out of that ignorance. So how is y'all out there doing it? How the Bible say, how can you say you love me who you never seen, yet hate your brother who you see every day? And you watching this shit go on every day. You watching different variations of hate of the brother go on every day. And then people say, I'll teach you how to hate somebody. I got the right to hate this person. I got the right to hate that person. But how? How, Sway? How? Make this shit make sense. If you say you love something that you never seen, the only thing you can reflect or show how much you love which you have never seen is by loving what you see that much more. That's the only way you're going to show what you have never seen how much you love them. How the fuck do you expect something that you never seen to really think that you love them if you ain't loving what you see? Think about that. I want y'all to really think about that. Y'all say this shit in relationships all the time. Oh, I know you talking shit about me because you talking shit about your other friends, right? I know you doing this because you did that to them. I know you don't care about me because you don't care about your family, right? So if you can think like that, right? Why are you not thinking that that same thought is coming from God? That same level of thinking is coming from God. Mankind can never show God how much we love him until we start loving each other. That's when the universe will open up to us. That's when God will realize that we love him, when we start loving each other. Because if we can't love what you see, how the fuck do you love what you don't see? That means you're going to base it upon your feelings when you see it. When you do see it, that shit might be ugly as hell. You might be like, shit, I don't love you no more. Fuck that. I thought I loved you, but I don't. But the only way you can try to sit there and say you love what you can't see is to love what you see. That's where a lot of y'all got that shit wrong at. How can you love me who you have not seen, yet hate your brother who you see every day? It specifically say that shit in the Bible. And still Christians is running around talking about, I teach you how to hate. I teach you how to hate. I teach you how to hate. That's all y'all want to teach people is how to hate. I got a right to hate this person. I got a right to hate that person. I got a right to... What the fuck do you mean? How do you got the right to hate somebody, but then you deny my right to love somebody? Make that shit make sense. If I sat there and said I got a right to love somebody, they'll tie all types of lust to it. Oh, what, you fucking them? Huh? What you got something going on with them? You tickling them? What you got going on? Why you love this person? Well, why the fuck you get the right to hate for no reason, but my love got to come with some extra shit? Huh? Huh? Why are we so quick to question love, but we don't never question the amount of hate that's in this damn world? We'll question love as soon as we see it. What you doing loving that person? What you doing loving? What you doing loving? Hold on. Fuck is you doing loving? Huh? You stop all that loving shit. And as soon as we see hate, what we do? We say, just go ahead, let it be, man. Just let hate be hate. Why the fuck do we always stop the love in the world, but let the hate be hate? Even when you see somebody, tearing somebody down, just ignore it. Just let it be. Secretly, you must like that shit. No, I'm going to have integrity. Look, shut up. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Let's go back to that shit. Let's go where people start standing with that shit. Soon as you hear somebody saying some fucked up shit, yo, listen, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, shut up. Don't say nothing at all. Don't really say it, but mean that shit. A lot of y'all say it, but y'all don't really mean it. Because if you did mean what you say, you letting somebody else say it, you comfortable with somebody else saying it because you secretly want to say fucked up shit. And because they saying it, it makes you feel comfortable because you like, shit, I secretly want to talk like that too. No, fuck that. From here on out, 2026, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever next year we moving into, we might not even be in 2026. Next year it might just be 26 out this motherfucker. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because that shit ain't real to me. Timeline ain't real. But whatever next moment we move into, can we move into this moment with integrity? Huh? Can y'all get a better moral compass? Huh? Y'all sold yourself for money so bad. And I'm sorry, I ain't got the money to be in that idea because that's what y'all want. Y'all want a motherfucker that's flossing and shining and then da-da-da-da-da. And then y'all gonna be like, man, I want to know how he got to what he got. That's how they trick y'all every time. Manipulation of money magic. Y'all looking at who got the money and where the money at. That's why half the people with money going through mental illnesses and crises right now. They show you a false fucking image. Them themselves. Look at half the rappers that told your kids to be gangsters, sell. Jeezy told your kids to sell dope and then told his kid to go to college. Look what's happening to gangsters right now. What they doing? They saying fuck the streets. After you done sold yourself to a gang, Crips, Bloods, Nayetas, all these other Latin Kings, all these gangs. Now the same motherfuckers who told y'all to join them gangs saying fuck the streets after they put your ass in it. Huh? Remind me of a book I read. I think it was called The Farm or some shit like that, where the animals ran the damn farmers up out of there. And then they said, well, who's going to get the big house? And then they put the pigs in the big house. Next thing you know, the pigs was coming out in overalls and shit like that, telling the other animals and shit what to do. Yeah, it came out in like 1973 or some shit like that. Old ass book. And I'm watching the same thing take place in society right now. I'm like, get the fuck. This can't be real. Life cannot be real. I'm telling you, it can't be. This shouldn't be allowed. So anyway, so we get back into it. We have to get into the Kratos blueprint, the blueprint of the Kratos, so on and so forth, right? Embodying the Christ blueprint and so on and so forth. This is cosmic. This is talking about, universal laws, how to understand it, so on and so forth. 12 with inside the 12 that makes up 144. Y'all know we talk about this all the time. The problem is they can't duplicate what they can't emulate, and they can't emulate what they can't construct, and they can't construct a nigga like me. So however you look at this, they ain't got the knowledge to hold half of the shit that I done told or sold. So they sitting there and they fake bold, but the shit done got old, and now it's time to get exposed. So now we gonna move forward with this with knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You motherfuckers is going to support me because I'm the right person to support. Go ahead, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your pa, I'm about to send you back to Arkansas, whatever you want to call it. Y'all better get over here and support one of these pages. I don't give a fuck if you got to watch for me all day. You better be watching for me all day because I'm the person that you're supposed to be supporting in this motherfucker, not them pretendians. Them. They not the real engines of this shit. Okay? They don't know what it is to take in the light from the sun and have your body go through solar synthesis. They don't know. If they did, they would have do better because they say if you know better, you do better. So why the fuck ain't half of them doing better? That's why they show them eating crabs, pork, all of this other low vibrational shit. That's why they glorify that, because that's the stuff they want you to put in your body. That's the stuff they want you to keep on mimicking because they found a way to block you from the sun. They found a way to stop your body from absorbing the light from the sun. They found a way. I kept on trying to figure out what is how did they stop God from getting to us? How did they stop? They stopped the transmission. They stalled out the transmission, the connection, the conscious that we have. They found a way to suppress the consciousness inside the body that connects us to the universe. That's why they don't let a person like me grow. Because I'm going to tell the truth about this shit. Because my true aim is to please God, not man. The Bible say, if you aim to please man, your friends will be many. But if you aim to please God, your friends will be few. So I understand why the world is against me. Because I want to set your mind free. I want to let your conscience be free to roam the multiple dimensions of your mind so you can reach different variations of enlightenmental. Enlightenment. Ment meaning your mind. They want to keep you dumb because they failed for the masses already. And if you go back and if you look at this bird, remember Jaguar said what about the bird? Look at what it says. Planetary Grid Network Glossary, GEG, session focus on horizontal channels, opening mental bodies, working with timelines, past and future, identity cleansing, Sephir, these are the different things, but the fallen angelic or demonic releases, male principle, healing, air element, Iraq, Iran. Do you see the location of this grid? It is the Phoenix grid, right? Iraq, Iran. It's the fourth dimension and the seventh dimension Lee line, intersecting inside the vessel, right? This goes back to the false Michael, the falsity of everything, right? This is what the grid is supposed to look like. The Lee lines is supposed to be of a frequency of this magnitude. You see the planet behind this. You see the world behind this. They are not doing this. They are manipulating the frequencies. We're manipulating the Lee lines, so on and so forth. This goes back to Cleopatra's needle. This goes back to different variations of truth. See, all these people want to lie to you and make it seem like they fighting and they know what the fuck going on because they want the truth to come out from their piece, whether it be Christian, whether it be Muslim, whether it be whatever. They want one of them to unlock the truth of this world. You know what I mean? It's like when the boy goes to the fox and say, Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll Center or the Tootsie Pop? The fox, he say, I don't know. Ask the turtle, right? He go to the turtle, he say, Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll Center or the Tootsie Pop? The turtle being as wise and as old as he is, he say, I don't know. Ask Mr. Owl, right? Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll? The world may never know, right? But he licks it 3 fucking times and then bites it, right? And now we got that short of a damn attention span to where as though after 3 licks, you just say fuck it and bite the shit because you don't feel like counting the licks. You don't feel like taking the licks. You don't feel like you just want the Tootsie Roll or the center of the Tootsie Pop. That's it. You don't give a fuck how you get there no more. Bang that motherfucker on the floor if you got to. But you just want that's it. So a lot of y'all ain't looking at the process of how to get to heaven, but all y'all want to go to heaven? Huh? And nobody want to go through the process of how to get to the motherfucker, but everybody want to get to the motherfucker. Huh. So you think by just biting into it, breaking it, that's the key? See, that's why the Bible say you're going to have to be like a kid to get into the kingdom of heaven. Because a lot of y'all done forgot what y'all imagination truly was. The ability to see past this reality. Huh? A lot of y'all done forgot how to, take that imaginary friend with you. You know, that imaginary friend might have been your consciousness talking to your ass. Huh? But right now, see, they messing up the group consciousness. This is when you come into a level of consciousness of yourself and you realize like, oh shit, other people share my consciousness. My consciousness is in other people. Holy crap. I didn't know we was connected like that. Hold on. Let me get right. And it's not people that's in your bloodline, your family. Consciousness don't work like that. That's the duality of what consciousness. Bloodline and the family bloodline that you thinking is that you born into, that's a lie. That's a reflection of what consciousness really was. Consciousness didn't just go to a bloodline. That's why they started changing it back in kingship, because consciousness was passed to outside families and so on and so forth back in the day when we really understood this. But then, some selfish mofo thought, well, I'm going to do all this work to pass it to somebody that's not in my bloodline. This is bull crap. So they fucked over consciousness once again. So many times y'all have a chance to unite with consciousness and y'all still just keep fucking over consciousness just because y'all scared or y'all don't understand it. So y'all fighting yourself with inside yourself about your own consciousness. And I think that's kind of fucked up. Well, actually, I find it kind of funny that y'all are really in a fight with yourself, and the perception of the reality is what you created with a Trump and a Putin and so on and so forth. But really, those collectives are in the fight with their self. So if you really are of a peaceful collective, then your whole collective is going to reflect that peace. And that's why spirituality comes to the picture, because my collective is a collective of spiritual, peaceful people, right? And no, we're not going to meditate if the war is on. No, we're going to get up and slap the shit out of something and then meditate after that. But y'all want to make it seem like because we multidimensional and we understand that we operate in multidimensional, that we should be beyond slapping the shit out your ass. No, if it's supposed to get me to peace and you sitting there trying to slap the shit out of me, then sometimes you might get slapped by a spiritual person. If we done walked away, and y'all just kept on following us, trying to slap us, slapping us, we done ducked and dodged so many slaps. That's cosmic karma. Karma gonna come back and get your ass. And because y'all been fucking us over for so many eons, the karma that's getting y'all right now is so hands-free. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here like, look, mom, no hands, because the karma is biting y'all in the ass, and I ain't got to do shit. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because negative be gotten negative right now and people don't see it. Your own wicked people is the same wicked people that's against wicked people, and all of them want to play the good guy. That shit's funny to me.
Dear Ascending Family, our planet is evolving into a coalescence of collective race fields which create group consciousness, and this is not a choice. It is a fact during the ascension cycle. This means we will need to become aware of what group consciousness means and how it impacts us in our day-to-day life, as well as every relationship we have on this planet.
So when we
In
get
any
this
type of
monetization
organization
back,
or group consciousness, it is extremely
YouTube,
challenging to navigate in
y'all
unclear
better be over
individual and
here,
group negative ego behaviors.
donating to the
Negative
board.
ego
You
behaviors are
feel?
usually entwined with low ethical conduct, which damages building trust between people in order to communicate transparently and honestly about a variety of topics. In order to evolve and learn how to build basic group
I ain't got
consciousness
enough people
communication
paying for this
skills, we
yet
each
for
must
me to
develop
do it every
commitment to
day.
hold accountability to our personal
Y'all
circumstances
done
and
tore
the
me down
GSF
so much.
behaviors that
Hard
each
for
of
me to
us
build a
choose to
conscience back
demonstrate
up
every
again.
day. Trust is everything in building relationships and building group consciousness. Without comprehending the necessity of building trust and consistent trustworthy behaviors, the entire foundation of group consciousness and community
Trying to get
structures
back
based to
into
help
it. I'm trying
humanity
to
will
get back
crumble.
into teaching and putting
Group
knowledge and
consciousness
stuff
without
out
balance
there, but
fractures into the hive mind mentality,
I gotta
people
shake
that
some low
refuse to think for
vibrational
themselves
people
and
out.
react in a mob frenzy. It is important to understand that divide and conquer NAA agendas that operate in negative ego that will attack any group consciousness from being successful models of supporting peace,
See?
humanitarian interests,
That's
and
what you
helping one
watching
another.
right now with the Jaguar
Any kind
right
of group,
sector.
whether
You
spiritually,
hear it? You heard what they say, right? They say, anybody who's practicing peace or group peace, trying to push out that the NAA, which is the negative alliance, right? Their agenda is going to be to attack that. That's why you see them go with the negative ego group. They gonna attack that. You see that happening right now. Look what happened with Charlie Clerk, right? His wife, right there. They planted her right there, honeypot, right there.
groups, humanitarian organizations are entirely built upon the requirement of building trust in all relationships. People must face the direct strategies of the NAA attempting to infiltrate negativity and thus destroy group cohesion or group trust. This is why I have spent a lot of time discussing components of trust, building trust, and how to recognize behaviors and communications that allow trust and the attribute of trustworthiness to be modeled and cultivated within group consciousness, such as within spiritual ascension and related humanitarian communities, to emphasize our personal responsibility in all of those interactions.
See that?
Lisa
So
Renee, GSF Steward.
we supposed to have a level of notion that is connected. What the fuck? Why is Spotify taking money? 84, 12, 5. Yeah, we supposed to have that. But see, somebody decided that, that we shouldn't have it, right? So human groups are energetic systems, right? This is why I say we are the engines of this world, because when we put our conscious together, we are an energetic system, right? This is why they tell you that when two or more is gathered together, so on, he is surely, because that's creative. When two or more creative minds are together, creation begins, right? So he's surely there. But y'all don't get that concept. Y'all keep pushing us away, not allowing us to gather, not allowing us as, multidimensional light beings. I don't know if y'all scared of our, spiritualities or our abilities in this world, or whatever it is, but we're connected to something that's deeper than the physical world. And I'm sorry that y'all don't get it. I'm sorry that y'all don't understand it. I'm sorry. That's not my fault.
Humanity is evolving into learning how to better function within group consciousness as a byproduct of the ascension cycle. Thus, many of us are purposefully thrust into situations that involve navigating group consciousness, such as communities, organizations, memberships, professions, and a multitude of other types of group relationships.
Now, I want to pause right there, because I kept on trying to figure out, why was I pushed in such low vibrational algorithms, whether on TikTok or whether on here. But then I realized, social engineering, so on and so forth. I was made to get pushed into those groups. The algorithm pushed me in these groups so I can learn something about myself, so I can dig deeper, to see how much willpower I have, to see how much I care for humanity. I had to see the wickedness in our society, the messed up things, because only through the messenger eyes can God really see. And it ain't too many messengers down here. So the universe can't see what's actually going on down here, because our third eye is blocked. So because so many people third eye is blocked, the universe can't see what's going on down here. So through certain people, the universe can see what's going on down here through their third eye, but they got to be willing to put that in their mind, right? A lot of y'all block a lot of stuff that the universe needs to see in order to fix it, right? So y'all block as if it's not happening in this world. The uncles that still exist, the aunties that's, touching our kids, so on and so forth, whatever you want to call it. Y'all blocking it from God's vision, because y'all trying to act like it don't exist in y'all mind. Right. But the moment we accept that this shit exists in our mind, the universe is going to start putting forth works to fix this shit. But y'all don't want to accept it in y'all mind. So the universe can't fix it.
Relationships. Many people on the ascension path are guided into some form of spiritual or consciousness community. This is not only to learn and develop themselves spiritually, but to explicitly gain self-knowledge in how to successfully navigate group dynamics by improving conflict resolution and communication skill sets without being negatively triggered.
See that?
We have to learn how to get along with each other peacefully and harmoniously in a group setting, and many of us will be facing these kinds of social challenges now.
Trying to teach this.
As we face an array of social challenges,
But
we will be measuring our energetic output and
hate.
input as forms of available energy, in order to determine what activities expend too much energy, and when we need to conserve energy. This is directly related to the new skill set of the discernment of entropic and Nijin.
I've been trying to teach this,
Negentropic systems.
and y'all don't care.
Bringing awareness to the behavior of systems, and how that loss of energy or increase of energy influences our lives. To participate with the ascension cycle.
They messing with my internet. They trying to stop AI from reading to you.
Cycle requires our transformation away from serving the individualistic egocentric self. It also requires finding our place within group consciousness, without losing the core of our real self or draining our energy.
I'm gonna put classes
When
back
we are not
together
being
in the
our true
Discord. I'm
selves,
gonna start
we are
teaching
drained of
a
energy,
select few
used
this
for putting up
knowledge
an
and
egoic
stuff.
facade.
I'm gonna just put the
While
classes
we are
together.
losing our negative ego identity, we are in the process of finding the real inner self and finding new ways to increase our energy.
I'll get some assistance.
This is how we learn to expand
help
our
me.
ability to feel comfortable with ourselves while we are
I gotta
participating
get
or
back to
observing
teaching.
a variety of roles or archetypes that may reveal themselves within a group consciousness. Eventually, our goal is to become aware of the roles or archetypes that we play unconsciously, and to clear
See?
ourselves from hiding behind them as
The roles or the archetypes that we play unconsciously. See, unconsciously, all of us play a role. That's what makes the world so great. That's why it says, now the world don't move to the beat of just one tune. What might be right for some, it takes different strokes. It takes different strokes. It takes different strokes to rule the world. We all have to realize our unconscious connection to this planet, right? Your spiritual path. Yes, mine might be the gift of gab, talking, right? You might be an artist that's good with your hands, and you have to show in your art that you connected to the world through your art, right? We got to start bringing beautiful people back to life, right? Right now, we're living in a world of death, unaliving, right? And they are multiplying by the tenfold, always negative, negative, negative. Let's get some platforms of positivity. Fuck it. Give us a whole app where we see nothing but double rainbows and beautiful shit. We will all venture to that app. I promise you we will. We need to see beautiful stuff in this world again.
as masks that we show the public. Unconscious masks drain our energy and are created from wounded ego, unresolved conflicts, ingrained fears of vulnerability, and betrayals of misplaced trust in others. Becoming authentic while in a group setting requires us to shed our false identities and express ourselves transparently and authentically, without ever needing to defend who we are. This takes practice to finally get it right. 4.
A lot of y'all never get it right. A lot of y'all wonder why y'all keep on repeating the same situations over and over again. And because you're not dealing with those situations with logic. You keep on dealing with those situations with feelings and emotions. That's why you keep on going through the same thing over and over again. Because until you change your approach, nothing in your life is going to change until your approach to things change. How do you expect? Think about this. If we're in a world where we realize that something is wrong with people, why are we expecting the people that something is wrong with to change? All the people that is right should change to navigate around all the wrongs that's in this world. We should be navigating through these people. Through how the fuck is we falling victims to fiends, addicts? How? How you falling victim to drug addicts? You ain't smarter than an addict. You ain't smarter than a fiend. How the fuck you keep getting your purse robbed? How you keep getting your money stole? How you keep getting your how? How y'all in the hood still falling for the same shit over and over again? The auntie and the uncle syndrome. How? How y'all fall victim to the fiends? That shit don't even make sense. Fiends is smarter than normal people now. Because they minds is focused on getting that drug. So they coming up with all types of schemes and shit to get the drug. The normal people just dumb as hell going to work and shit. Fiends creative than a motherfucker. Got you ready to buy a lawn chair that don't do shit but sit on the lawn. Huh? Fiends got you ready to buy a stolen pit bull. Then talk you into it. Oh, it is a cute dog. Where'd you say you get it from? Talking you into buying all types of shit. You think you getting a deal. No, you're not getting a deal. You're getting a steal.
Human consciousness perception, as well as attitudes and beliefs, reflect the energy potential that is available to that body in that location. When less energy output is available to the masses, this yields a lower quality of consciousness perception, such as the state of survival consciousness. When there is more energy available to the masses, the higher energy output yields a much more developed individual, with an overall higher quality of consciousness perception that increases intelligence factors in the masses.
See that?
The
So
quality
when we say that you're a victim to your environment, if the environment or the energy that's provided in that environment is low vibrational, then ye too shall be low vibrational, right? So if you in an environment of a bunch of low vibrational ass people, then you too gonna become low vibrational. If y'all sitting on these applications and y'all sitting in rooms that's messy TikTok or fucked up YouTube or whatever you want to call it, y'all gonna become that vibration. Love is love. Namaste. Ashe. Salutation. Shalom. Peace. I see what you got going on over on your channel. I would hope that you're moving in a more positive light. I will hope that you are. But if you're not, like I always say, you know, your operation is your operation. If that's how you move, that's how you move. But I will hope that if you are a representation of Atlas or what we do represent, then I hope you're doing it with positivity, laughter. I hope you're not keeping people in low vibrational energies. I hope you're not trauma bonding, right? I hope you stay true to certain variations of things, because the victimizing program that's taking place right now could be happening unknowingly, unconsciously in your body. But you have to fight the things that's happening in your body that's stopping you from uniting or trying to unite with other people or trying to create unity in this world. Our whole purpose down here is to create a oneness. It's not to keep on fighting and fucking each other over. I don't know how y'all moving into 2026, but I don't want to keep on fighting and bickering and doing all of this weird shit. If we can sit down and watch a cartoon, let's sit down and watch a cartoon. Fuck it. Let's have movie night. Every Thursday is in the Discord. I don't care if we watch The Lion King over and over again until y'all finally don't get it. But in this society where they're painting the bad guy to be a good guy, that just lets me know a trick is going on. I've been tricked before by the best of them, but something ain't right with this shit. The bad guy is now the good guy. Shut up. Shut up. I don't believe it.
Quality of energy potential can be measured through the observation of increasing and decreasing levels of barbarism and violence that become standards of acceptable behavior in the dominant culture of certain Earth demographics. Geographic areas that have been plundered and pillaged with never-ending war on the ground for multiple millennia suffer the most energy loss, and the direct consequences of that loss of energy are reflected in the cultural beliefs and attitudes that form in the population of that demographic. To produce barbarism and slavery in any population, the controller uses divide and conquer tactics to systematically produce closed energy systems by imposing gradual increases of energy debt, while removing public access to free energy resources. 5.
Now, I wanted to bring that to light. You know, I wanted to bring that to light, you know, of how they manipulate your energy, how feelings and emotions is a part of your energy, so on and so forth, right? And I just want you guys to know that we are doing a great job and we are winning as light beings, as spiritual people. We are winning. We are watching different variations of them fall apart. We are watching them expose each other. We are watching them fall apart. You know, if you look at the TikTok situation with Rizzy and that coming to light, you know, with them picking that up, if you look at Krishan Rock, if you look at all these negative entities, you know, those doors are open now, so you can't just send people to the grave anymore without reaping that, you know, that karma that comes with it. You see the karma that's coming with Krishan Rock after Ronnie's passing. You see the karma that's coming to TikTok after Rizzy's passing. You see the karma that's coming to Erica after Charlie Kirk's passing. Open up your eyes, people. Open up your eyes, people. Wars come and go, but God's soldiers are eternal. And they are still kicking ass right now. And through different vessels, through different energies, through different portals. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. You might have an angelic being commandeer your vessel. Might have you doing all types of good shit before you know it. You like, oh shit, what the hell? Yeah, because they told you about conjuring of demons, but they never told you that angels do the same thing, that they commandeer our vessels too. That the angels come and take over your body and have you doing angelic shit. They can always point out the demonic shit because they bask and live in the demonic shit. But they never gonna point out angelic shit because they don't know what angelic shit look like. Hey, if nobody told y'all that they love y'all today, let me be the first and not the last to tell you that I love you. All right? Remember, one's image of oneself should be greater than reality.
When you don't know what you're gonna do.
It It's no more time to hide, people. It's time to step out in the light. It's time to be great. It's time for all of us to unite. Right? Let's make the internet great again. We got all this knowledge at the tip of our fingertips, and we're not using none of it. I say, let's push it. Huh? Let's push it. Let's become wiser within one another. Let's lean on one another. Let's depend on one another. Let's care for one another. Huh? Let's show people what it's like. Huh? Make the internet great again.
We're gonna fight every fight as a collective. We're gonna do just what's right as a collective. We're gonna move as one, never quit till it's done. Stay focused and selective. Atlas Collective.
I hope y'all realize how great y'all are, especially on this day. Let's give each other the gift of knowledge, gift of kindness. Let's start a trend like that. For those, the gifts that we give out, gifts of happiness, gifts of laughter.
So bear with you, yeah, they bear with you.
Hey, listen, I truly love y'all. I could have been anywhere in the world, but I'm here with y'all. Y'all know I gotta cut this short because I want this to be created. But I'm gonna try to do another live later on today, and hopefully we can keep the positive energy growing, showing. More people will start showing up for us. The algorithm decided that I can make change in, that's all. It ain't got shit to do with me. They just put me in messy TikTok because they thought messy TikTok needed me. They just put me in Jaguar algorithm because they thought Jaguar algorithm needed me. That's all, you know? And as I see the negative and low vibrational beings in these algorithms, I realize I'm over on TikTok trying to get put on Steam. You know, knowledge inside of TikTok. I can see that. So love and light to everybody. And remember, knowledge and so within this
Collective.